All right, showtime. You ready?
Born ready.
Great. Did you bring the dongle?
What's a dongle?
Never mind. We'll just show them on your laptop.
I was supposed to bring my laptop?
Don't panic. You shared the presentation with me, right?
I forgot.
Well, if you log in, then we can...
My password. I was about to say I forgot my password.
You ordered the food through EasyCater, right?
Yes?
We'll be fine.
Food can make or break a presentation, so make sure you order at EasyCater.com. Individually packaged food delivered right on time. How? EasyCater.
This is the men's room.
Get it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off the kickspill. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Hola to our weed-smoking friends jumping on now. Portland's Classic Rock, 92.3 KGO, and also 98 Rock, California's rock station in Sacramento, the state capital of California, and our newest affiliate, that would be Rock 95 in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Welcome to the show, and a big show we do have for you. Who Sucks
No,
Less
we
coming
don't.
up. The word
No, we
gives,
don't.
Yeah,
That's
we
a
do.
lie.
Well, all right, maybe it is. The word gives us new words and new names. Another round of profile this, and our question is we have two stories. The first story is of a 85-year-old man in Ireland. He's being hailed as a hero. Three robbers burst into a gambling parlor. He said the hell with this and just started taking them on one at a time. As the owner of the place, his name is Tim Murphy, is being attacked. Basically, Dennis O'Connell, who is 85 and a great-grandfather, comes to the rescue. He beats a couple of these guys, chases another guy out of the place, and then basically physically kicks one guy out of the building.
Keep in mind, they burst in with a shotgun and a hammer.
In the meantime, we have another great-grandmother. This time we go to Texas, and a vendetta. 3 years ago, she knew that an alligator, well, she had the idea that her miniature horse, who had disappeared with no remains ever found, had more than likely been eaten by an alligator. Mm-hmm. Lo and behold, she waited and continued to see alligators, but none that she thought was of size enough to be able to do what, you could do to eat that thing. So she waited and waited. 3 years later, she finally saw an alligator that she believed to be big enough that could have actually eaten her horse. So she set up a trap legally within 20 days of September, baited a hook, and shot the thing dead with one shot. She plans on taking the alligator, mounting the head, making boots out of the skin, and eating all the meat. Mm-hmm. So our question, good. When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
Let's go to Georgia. Hello, Michael. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Hey, man, what part of Georgia are you in? Atlanta.
Okay.
Hotlanta.
Yes, sir. All right.
Hello, Georgia. Do we have you?
Yeah, you got me.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead, Georgia. You're on here. I feel like I'm on CNN, like we're on a satellite phone. We're dialing somewhere into Georgia. Okay, go ahead.
All right. I was in Camp Pendleton, California, doing some stuff for the Marine Corps. We were having a ceremonial thing with my grandfather and some guys that were in the Navy. Apparently, we found out my grandfather was a badass when he threw one of the Navy guys off of the ship in the middle of the bay.
Right. He threw him off of the ship?
Off of the ship in the bay.
Why did
He was an admiral. We were doing what they were instructing us to, and this one guy just didn't want to listen. He found out the hard way. You listen to an admiral.
So he just grabbed him and threw him off the ship?
Yeah.
Did anyone come and pick the guy up?
No, just picked him up by the back of his collar and walked him to the end and threw his ass overboard.
How far down was the water?
From the top of an aircraft carrier.
I was going to say, was it an aircraft carrier or was it a minesweeper? There's a big difference.
That is.
It was an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, that's not good. I've been on the Midway before. I know how tall that thing is. I wouldn't want to jump. I wouldn't want to jump off that, and that was part of the training.
Hell no.
Wasn't it? I mean,
My
you get
father,
up there and you look down, you're like, oh my God.
My father at one point, he said in the Navy, and this was the 60s, I guess, and I don't know what kind of ship he was jumping off, but he's like, it was early in your training, and I guess there were, this is how you know it's a government operation, right? So they're on the ship, and they're being trained which life jackets to not use.
Oh, the ones where you rip your head off because of arms and stuff?
They have both on the ship. So instead of just getting rid of the ones they don't want anyone to use, they still had them on the ship. So to explain why, in case of panic, like we're telling you, don't use these. And the idea was that the material, whatever it is, it just does not sink. It doesn't matter what you do, it's not going to sink. So no one thought about this, and you got pushed off this boat. And when you hit the water, it's like you heard guys screaming when they hit the water, and everyone got their shoulders dislocated and all the rest of this because your body's still submerged in water.
Right. But the jacket didn't go
But
down.
your arms don't, because this does not sink. Just there's nothing you can do. But I was like, well, why wouldn't you just get them off of the ship? Like, if under no circumstances you're supposed to use this, why is this there? There's no explanation.
And if you, I mean,
they had the life jackets you should use, but they also had the ones like, don't ever use this thing that is readily available anywhere.
We got a tour of a battleship when we were in Jacksonville when I was playing football, where the Gator Bowl.
Right.
So they had the USS Saratoga. So we get up there. We're allowed to kind of like, we have a football. We're going to throw it around. This thing's huge. You know what I mean? But people are getting really close to the edge. And I mean, I'm looking over the edge and I'm thinking to myself, something's bad's going to happen. Like the ball's going to go like, this is bad. Like I was looking, you just
let the ball go, man.
This thing is those things are so huge. To give you an idea, where they store the in this particular boat, where they stored the planes was underneath the flight deck, and underneath the flight deck there was room for like 4 full court basketball courts.
Right.
I actually had them up. I mean, you were that high off the air.
I'm trying to look it up. Like, I don't know if, like, a lot of stuff sounds like you can't jump off an aircraft carrier.
I wouldn't.
It's higher than 60 feet.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
I mean, well, look, man. I mean, he threw the guy off. I think most people would not jump off, but if you had to jump off, it's not the
front
worst
of the
in
deck
the world.
is higher than the back of the deck, because the back of the deck's got a little poop deck on it. Like if you're on the Midway, like where the Starbucks is.
Do they have a Starbucks on the Midway?
I'm pretty sure
they have a Starbucks.
Well, of course, the Starbucks is everywhere.
I know, but like when you say it's everywhere, you don't literally mean everywhere.
San Diego listeners, isn't there a Starbucks in the back of the Midway? Oh, no, listen,
Dude, I will tell you this: college basketball now, when they start the season, they play a basketball game on the deck of a carrier down in San Diego.
Oh, so that is the Midway. It's got to be. Well, unless they bring in a new.
No, I think they bring in a new one.
Oh, okay.
Damn, that's pretty cool though.
When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
And when they don't play basketball, Cher sings to you. What song? What was her song?
She was on a battleship though, because she was like on the cannon.
You're getting awfully ticky-tacky, man.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, goddamn, okay, sorry.
There's a difference.
It was a full-length leotard. I watched that video a lot.
On
What song
battleship,
was that?
the aircraft carrier is 4 dots, and the battleship is 3.
Oh, yes, you are correct.
I'm just
That's
saying,
how you know the difference.
I remember that video.
I know you do. Spank bank material.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Aaron. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so I never got to talk to my grandfather, right? So I had to get stories from my grandma and my aunts and uncles and everything. But whenever we went to grandma's house, there was this wolf pelt that they had. And I started asking about it. It's like, well, how'd you guys get that? And said, they had some wolves that are coming in and killing their livestock. And my grandpa would go out there, be shooting at them and stuff. Maybe he'd get whatever once in a while. But this one time, he saw a bunch of them running and he's shooting at them. But another one comes up to the right of him and spikes him. And it's, pulling him around and stuff. He drops his gun and he's trying to shake the thing up, but he can't. So he lifts his arm up in the air and drops it back down and lands on it with his knee. And he punched the wolf to death and he kept the pelt.
Wait a minute. Wow. Jesus Christ, man. He punched the wolf to death? Was he like Liam Neeson?
I mean, at least that's what I was told, and he was just on top of it, and he just kept hitting it until it went limp, and he got his arm out.
Huh. Okay.
See, the only problem, man, is that these stories are from your grandmother and from your aunts and uncles.
The wolf puncher.
I'm just, I don't know. I just love, because stories change a little. There's years and years and years ago, I'm leaving a bar, this guy, Abe, a racially charged individual decided he wanted to fight me leaving the bar. So he jumps on my back, okay? He's punching me to the head. And just keep this in mind. This is what's actually happening. So I walk out of the bar. This guy's
Do you know this guy very well?
No, I'd met him earlier that night.
Okay,
right?
all right.
So, but I mean, he's hammered, whatever, right? So he jumps on my back and he's throwing these punches to the back of my head. And before I do anything, my buddy Leon, who's across the street smoking a cigarette, he sees this. He runs across the street, jumps off of a car, and clotheslines this guy in the back of the head. But the guy's face smashes into the sidewalk, pool of blood. We roll. Okay? So that's what happens. About 8 hours later, I get up, I go to work at a restaurant. I walk into this restaurant. My coworker Bob looks right at me, and he's like, dude, I heard you broke a dude's jaw last night. So So I looked at him. I was like, goddamn right I did. Man. So I'm just saying, these stories, that happened in 8 hours. Because that's not what, the guy's jaw was in fact broken. I did not break. In fact, I got punched several times. Leon came across clothesline this guy, but somehow, without me ever telling it, I wasn't going to bring it up, right? Mm-hmm. These are the first words.
Did you ever see Lee again?
Who, Leon?
No, Lee, the guy that was jumped on your back.
Oh, no, I never saw him. Okay. I did see his friend again later, but his buddy would not go back to the bar. Because I broke his jaw.
When did you find out that your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
My point being, I fully accepted that because it sounded badass. So his grandfather, I'm saying he did not actually punch that wolf to death, but if anyone mistook that he did, it's like, you're goddamn right.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the response you go, do you think I beat that wolf to death with my bare hands? Yeah, I sure did.
Sometimes you don't even have to confirm it for people.
That's what I mean.
They just look at you and go, so you beat the wolf, huh?
Yep.
That's what they're saying.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It was handed to me. I'm like, I broke
back
his
in
jaw.
a week and a half.
That's exactly.
My buddy has
a blanket.
You don't need to know that I was screaming like a 6-year-old girl.
A blanket with fleas.
Yeah, my buddy has a good word for it. He always just says, like, don't lie, but he's just like, don't ruin it for people. like a much lighter example was I had these sunglasses on, and everybody loved them. We're at this festival. And finally somebody goes, man, those things, I had them on. Like, they must have cost you $100. And I go to say something. He's like, don't ruin it for him. Because he knew I was like, no, man, they're $10.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, so stuff like that. Like, hey, damn right I broke his jaw.
Yeah, they handed it to me.
Yeah,
I did not know that's what you thought, but as soon as he said it, I'm like, I sure did.
Yeah. You see, and has anybody jumped on your back since?
That's right. Yep. Don't mess with me. My ear's going to absorb many punches. Hello, Romeo. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
Hola.
So, Romeo, when did you find out your grandparent was a badass?
Well,
when they wouldn't let me marry Juliet, and I... Sorry. Couldn't help it.
And he's gone. And he's gone. Woo! Romeo's gone. Oh, yeah.
Wow. I think the Juliet.
Where art thou, Romeo?
Juliet joke. He was like, the hell with this.
I've heard it too many times.
Right?
F you. F the men's room.
Exactly.
F girl.
I knew they were going to do that.
It happens every time.
I hate my mom. I hate my dad.
Well, you should.
They did this to me.
Hey, there's a story about a guy named Ronald McDonald today.
Romeo.
Why would you name your kid?
They cannot say it was McDonald.
Why would you name your kid Ronald?
Because his dad was Ronald.
And he's still bitter.
When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA. Hold the line where you call. It's coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Still to come, our turn of Who Sucks Less in the Word gives us some new words and some new names. Our question, when did you find out that your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
Miles, I have good news.
All right.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right. I think you're going to be very happy about this. Romeo is back.
Oh, okay,
Romeo
great. Oh,
has
thank God.
You
Romeo.
said, where art thou, Romeo? He is back. Hello,
Yes.
Romeo. Welcome back to the men's room.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we got you, Romeo. Go ahead.
Okay, so I found out in high school in history class that my grandfather was a badass. They were talking about World War II and the Filipinos that were enlisted in the U.S. Army, how they survived the Japanese prison camp was pretty brutal, and they walked a 26-mile death march. So he survived that. I came to the United States in 1952, and then passed away when I was 10 years old.
So you did get a chance to hang out with him?
No, my kid's great-grandfather, so he was, he's Filipino as well, and he was born World War I, fought World War II, survived the Japanese death march, and last February he turned 100 years old.
Wow.
Hey, look, man,
Nice.
I'm not trying to minimize anything because it's a great story, but in 2 different occasions you mentioned that they survived the death march. It just seems to me that they should rename it. I mean, if people keep surviving the very long march that is scary.
The Rose Bowl parade.
They beat them, and then they took them on a 26-mile march.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And if you bent over to pick up your fallen comrade, they would shoot you both down right there.
Good God, man.
So they expected you to die in that march. They didn't want any survivors.
So if you survived,
if you made it, you lived?
You made it, you lived.
Okay. And that's how I guess how it gets.
Well, that's a game show waiting to happen.
Right, exactly. That sounds like a horrible movie.
Good
Jesus
God,
Christ,
man.
For real.
I'm Jeff Probst.
Right.
We've recreated an era from World War I. MAGA. We have ourselves a death bar. 26
that, or the conversations we have in the office. Is your internet slow?
Right.
Is your browser running slow?
Stop buffering.
Did your email freeze up? Mine did.
And now I'm having a very bad day.
Was the chip guy going to fill the machine back up or what? We're out of Cheetos. Is your email slow?
Yeah. These are our problems, right? Somebody ate the last bag of Cheetos.
These elevators are taking forever.
Ever.
God.
I was in one today.
Free lunch again?
God damn it. Hello, Catherine. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what up, bitches?
Hola.
Hey. Okay, so I have 2 small stories about my grandpa. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was super Norwegian, and we called him Farfar, which means dad's dad in Norwegian.
Farfar?
Farfar, yeah.
Like
It literally
Farfar
just
Binks? These are my grandchildren.
No, we had some jokes, definitely, growing up, like referring to our grandparents as that, but no, it's just Norwegian for father.
Okay.
So, Dresden, come back. Sorry, my kids are at the park, and they're talking to strangers.
Let them run away.
But they're talking to strangers. Hey, can call us back, man.
They give them candy.
No,
see if they got any candy.
It's fine.
Is he reaching in their
They're
pocket?
good. They're well contained. There's a fence.
All right.
At first, I thought Justin was a dog.
I know.
No, Dresden. He's wild.
Dresden.
Okay, go play, dude. Go play. You're on the phone. You
Stay
can't
away.
get up there.
She's talking on the phone.
Stay away from the guy
I
in the
know,
trench
man.
coat.
He's only 3. I'll help you. Okay, so I'm going to help you. So basically, he was an everyday kind of badass guy. Like, he wasn't in the war or anything. But one time, he was probably it was after I was born, so maybe like 60s or 70s. He was up on the roof of his house, cleaning out the gutters. He fell. His kneecap not only exploded, it shattered, pretty much exploded into countless pieces. He goes inside, because he would always take care of my grandma. He goes inside, makes her a nice little lunch, tells her he's going to be right back.
Oh, you're at the playground.
You're with your kid.
You're at the playground.
With your Jesus Christ. Damn.
God.
Mother and please keep those words in mind when
Now,
calling.
normally,
Now
we tell
back
people
to the program.
if they're having a problem, act like you're around a group of kids.
Catherine.
Catherine. Act like you're around a group of kids.
Do it for the children.
Jesus.
I'm using a hushed tone.
Oh, yeah, that works on the radio.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Anyways, they're like, are you kidding me? You just drove yourself here. You need to go to the emergency room. So he goes in, has to get a surgery. They call my grandma and they had to arrange a ride because he obviously couldn't drive himself home. And she had no idea because he was acting normal, I guess, when he made her the lunch.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
I wouldn't do that.
He's got
My knees are blown.
He's got a high threshold for pain.
Literally exploded.
Or I want you to think about this too, and I'm not trying to ruin the family, but since you're going to drop F-bombs around the kid, let's just be honest, all right? It could have been that grandma was so annoying, he's like, you know what? If I can just make her lunch, I will drive myself to the hospital alone.
Honestly, she really was a nagger. So
hey, easy. Easy, the kids.
One of the few Norwegian naggers.
It means black.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, I have another small one.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's their
so
name?
I'll keep it. So it's the same grandpa.
Okay.
He
Far and Nagger.
Far and her name is Farmore. But anyway, so he passed away a few years ago, and it was just like he was just the most stubborn guy. I believe he was 84, and he passed away due to complications of a heart attack because he was insisting that he take care of his own house still and do everything normal without any help. He decided to mow his lawn uphill in the rain, and he had a freaking heart attack.
Oh, so he got run over. Did he get run over by his own lawnmower?
No, he just
got a heart attack.
Miles is disappointed.
I was thinking it could just be compounded. Like, he drops, he's on a hill, but now it's coming back.
No, he just literally was too old to do it and did it, and he was okay for a while, but his heart was really weakened, and so, like, I gave him crap after that. I'm like, dude, really?
So then you started nagging him.
Look.
Look at that.
It's raining. You can't mow your lawn when it's raining. It leaves tracks.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember something else. Again, he probably is with a spouse because the only reason you really kind of want to cut the grass is because you do get like an hour and a half apiece.
That's all it is.
I mean, you get like one or two just interruptions, like, and you got to cut it out again. What? What do you? A chicken? I don't care. And then you do that 2 or 3 times. But for the most part, you get like a good 2 hours.
Isn't that obvious to you too? I mean, I'm listening to this. Right? I mean, she even said
That's why he's out there
she's
doing
a
it.
nagger, and I'm thinking like, you blow out your knees, man. You're obviously in pain. I would rather just the silence of driving myself to the freaking. I'm not even going to tell you what's wrong, just to get away from you. So yeah, he went to mow the lawn. You can't do it. He's like, I would rather possibly die than be stuck in the house.
I'm going to dig a pool.
I mean,
I'm going to go and dig a pool.
Right. You know that project he just took on?
He takes a shovel.
He has no experience doing it, but he's going to do it until completion.
An in-ground pool with a shovel.
It's you. Do you understand? It's you. It's not him. He doesn't have a hair of his head. He wants to get away from you.
What did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Lindsay. Welcome to the men's room.
How's it going?
Hola. So how'd you find out your grandparents were badasses?
Well, this is about my grandma, so I've heard this story since I was about 5 years old up until pretty recently. Her sister, so my great aunt, had a deadbeat husband who wasn't paying child support, and typical drunk, they went down to the local bar that he was at because he wasn't paying money. And they got him out of the bar, took him out to the parking lot, hit him over the head with a frying pan. This is my grandma who did this.
Okay.
And they took all of his money and left him.
How much money did they get? Do you know?
Probably a couple $100, I think.
Oh, he had a couple $100 in cash
That's
at
what
the
I'm saying.
bar.
Like, my God. All right. So,
and I'm guessing at that time a frying pan was like a cast iron skillet.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. Yep. Cast iron. Yep.
Do you know what your aunt's name was? Was it like Brenda or like
Sheila, Tanya,
Tina,
Sharon?
Sharon. To the face.
Yeah.
I'm going to share this frying pan in your face.
God damn. Why is it always a frying pan?
That's great though.
It's everybody's got.
It's a weapon.
But everyone has like the smaller sauce pot. It's the. I think it has more coverage.
You could grab.
You're not going to hit somebody with a regular like 8
If you could
pot.
grab 2 things in the kitchen, right, to use as weapons. You know what I mean? Like your
frying pan, butcher's knife, right?
I'm going to go meat cleaver.
If I have a meat
no,
cleaver,
but you're in the
sure.
kitchen, right? You know, I'm going frying
like my
pan.
home kitchen, or like my home kitchen.
Your home
does
kitchen.
not, I don't have a meat.
You don't
cleaver.
have a meat cleaver?
I mean, I have a meat knife, but I wouldn't quite call it a cleaver.
Oh, I got a cleaver.
I can't do like butchery work with it.
I got a cleaver, like boom through bones.
You got a cleaver?
Yeah, I think I'm
serial killer.
I think I'm grabbing a cleaver and I'm grabbing a.
If I have a cleaver, I'm glad.
Because with a frying pan, I can deflect and I can use this as a shield, right? But I can also bip you in the head with it.
You're only going to use it as a weapon, not
with a cleaver.
Because it weighs
I
too
am
much.
taking. I'm getting a major artery. You know what I mean? Like you're going down.
Where are you going?
This is like a shark.
I mean, everybody wants to hit the major artery, but I'd be like, damn it,
Anywhere,
where are the
I'm
major
at least
other
going
than your
6,
neck?
7 inches in a wide cut. You know what I mean? Because I'm going like rump roast. I'm going.
What is your situation that you need to like? Who broke into your home that doesn't have a gun?
But now I'm naked and I'm in the kitchen and I got my cleaver and I got my cast iron grill.
But I've discovered if you're naked, just approach him.
When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
I keep a hammer near.
You keep a hammer?
Yeah.
You ever practice swinging it?
Yeah, all the time.
Of course. You have to, right?
Grandmother's
Do you
90.
think you have your technique down?
No.
Okay.
And I'm definitely afraid to actually use it.
My grandmother's
But I feel like it's a
93.
good-looking weapon.
It is a good look. It's a freaking hammer.
She has a 38 special beside her bed.
Oh, of course.
She's always had a 38 special. That's how she rolls.
What you need to understand is his grandmother's a whore, and he means the band 38 Special. Don Barnes is in here, giving me the business with Donnie Manzan. Oh, God.
When did you, hold on loosely, baby. It's all loose. Every part of it. When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Jim. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
Hey guys. So hey, I gotta ask you real quick because you line up biggest dummy. What is paraquat, or what do you know about paraquat? This would have been for Weed Week.
Paraquat?
Paraquat starts with a P.
I have no idea, man.
Hey, you guys aren't old enough. So back in the late 70s, right, you could get a quarter ounce of Colombian dirt weed for $15, right?
Okay.
And then the United States government sprayed Paraquat, which is a defoliant, all over the Colombian fields and destroyed all that crop. Now, some of that pot still, came in.
Of course it did.
Smoke it. Yeah, of course, and you'd smoke it and, it tore your lungs to pieces. So I was always hoping to hear that question on Biggest Dummy.
All right.
That is very specific,
That is
man.
pretty specific.
But educational.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, so my grandmother in Holland, she's long passed, but my grandmother in Holland, we call her Oma, O-M-A. She,
oh my God.
Oma. Yeah, oh my God. She rode around on they called them a Victor Solex. It's kind of like a Vespa with pedals.
All right.
So a motorized
Bicycle.
I don't know if you guys ever seen anything like that, but
Yeah, it's like a little moped.
yeah. So she rode around on that well into her 80s. Okay, that's how she got around Holland, her little town. So at 80 years old, she's riding her little moped, and she gets hit by a Volkswagen bus. Okay, they had to get a tow truck to lift that bus off of her because she was pinned underneath of it. The woman walked away and lived for another 3 years. She didn't die from the accident, but so she got hit by a Volkswagen bus and still lived.
All right.
That's impressive.
That is.
I'd use that. If I'm Volkswagen, I use that in an ad. Like, even if you drive like crap, it's not strong enough to kill anything.
Farfignugan.
We hit an 80-year-old woman with a Volkswagen bus. She's fine.
Don't worry about the diesel thing.
You won't hurt the elderly.
Right.
When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
That's a very Dutch story.
It is very Dutch. The fact that no one found it alarming that an 80-year-old woman is zipping through town on an electric bike.
She got hit, her wooden shoes went flying.
The clogs.
She had so many children, she didn't know what to do.
And those electric bikes are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I've never ridden one.
They are. They're cool.
What do you say like that? Is it because they look stupid?
It's kind of like cheating. You know what I mean? Like in my mind.
Look, you don't want to have to pedal everywhere.
I know, but
you're
like
just trying to listen. If you want to ride a bike,
get some
no.
exercise.
If you no, it's not.
Yes,
no,
it is.
it doesn't have to be.
It kind of means something.
It's going from point A to point freaking B. And if you want to ride a bike to exercise,
sure.
then knock yourself out. But other people, it's their mode of transport.
I'm just a purist.
All right, the grown man on the one-speed bike. You think he's doing that for exercise, or is he doing his drug card?
He's selling drugs. But
Exactly.
He's got to move slow.
He does
But
have
people
to
give
do
you
his
all
one speed.
bicycles, and like, you live in my neighborhood. Those are some steep hills.
Yeah, cut out the middle,
I
man.
don't blame them at all.
No, I don't blame you.
I will say this.
Do you ever glide? You ever glide? You're pedaling. Don't tell me you're always pedaling.
But I earned that.
When you
I
glide,
earned that coming up the hill.
Why earn it when you can just have it? You can earn $10 million or here's a winning lotto ticket.
But have it
It's a winning lotto ticket, man.
All right.
Just scratch it and redeem it. You don't have to pedal up this hill.
What about those one-wheel dudes? Why do
they make me angry?
I don't know.
I'm with you. They annoy the crap out of me.
Why?
That's okay, though.
They're not doing anything.
That's okay.
They're not doing anything, but I want to punch them in the face.
Probably because they're on the sidewalk.
I just want them to eat it.
Dude, but even if
I
on
just
the road,
want
it
to
wouldn't
see
matter.
like when they're flying forward, swimming with their arms in the air.
Have you seen anyone
No,
even-
but I
No.
want to. I'm envisioning when it happens of how great it'll be.
I just don't understand. And I don't know why they make
And
me
then
so mad.
I'll ignore them. I can act like it didn't happen.
I'm gonna
Those
steal their
electric
face.
bikes, I had never seen one. Me and my buddy, the guy next to us at Burning Man, he's got one. We're like, this is awesome. It's 3 a.m. Let's just say I'm not sober. I decide I'm going to try it out, right?
Uh-huh.
So in our campsite, there's not that many people. There's one couple in the very left corner in the dark. I screw up the brakes or whatever and run right into them.
Oh no!
Did you really?
Yes.
Did you hurt the bike?
No, it was fine, but it was just funny. I was like, yeah, let me try this thing out. And I
As soon as
just
you do, you wrecked
made a
it.
beeline right into the one couple sitting there.
Then let me ask you this. Why do you think they're so cool? Your experience ended poorly. Why do you're like, yeah, they're cool. Yeah, right.
Well, like the next day when it was at 3 a.m.,
Who wrecks
they
a
were
bike?
awesome.
Well done.
Yeah, but trying it at night wasn't so hot.
When did you normally somebody pulls out in front of you?
Right.
When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-9990.
Hello, Luke. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, found out my grandpa was a badass was a while back. He passed away, but I was over at his place for Thanksgiving one year, and he was talking about how when he was in the Army, him and a group of guys were tasked with stopping a train and getting the supplies off of it. They were supposed to be going to an enemy camp. And on the way over there, they passed by a whorehouse, and they were successful in stopping the train. And instead of, doing what they're supposed to do and get the money and food and all this other stuff back to, their camp, they decided to do the logical thing and go buy the whorehouse. So they ended up buying the whole whorehouse. They lived there for like 2-3 months. And when all their money was spent and food was gone, they ended up giving the whorehouse to their favorite girl in there. So,
wow,
your grandpa is my hero.
Where was this?
I think it was like the end of World War II, possibly. I don't know. He was pretty old when he passed.
But where? What country? Do you know?
I don't know. It was a while ago when he told me. I don't remember the actual country.
Okay, that's great.
I mean, I think it's got to be like Germany.
I'm sure your grandmother loves that story.
Please tell it again.
3 months just
we bought a whorehouse. Spent all my money.
Sounds like a children's book.
I feel like you preface that story as we stopped a train of Nazis.
Right. And then bought a whorehouse.
Hey.
That's our next game show.
How much? I'll take the whole thing. When did you find out that your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA. We got more of your calls on the way. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, when did you find out that your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Seth. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
So my story is about my great-grandma who's like 96, I think now, somewhere around there, close to 100. But when I was younger, I was down and playing they had like a back garage, like down in the part of their property, the down lower part of their property that they used to store a bunch of stuff they don't even use anymore. I was in there messing around with stuff and whatnot. I asked my grandma one time when this thing was hanging on the wall, and she told me it was a flamethrower that they had from back when they used to have the farm.
And what do they use the flamethrower for on the farm?
I guess, well, that's what I asked her, because I was like, why would you need one? But I guess that's back when they used to, like, cut down the fields and whatnot, when they used to, like, burn off all the excess stuff or something, is what she told me.
All right, that makes sense.
It's called, like, slash and burn is what they called it. They cut all the stuff out, and then they burn the rest of the stuff away.
Okay.
But I never know anybody besides my grandma to ever own a flamethrower, so I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't even know. I don't even know if I've seen one.
I would say of things I would not expect to find at the grandparents' estate, a flamethrower is probably one.
Put the carbon back in the soil is probably good for that. When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
I feel like you got to go to Arizona if you want to shoot a flamethrower.
Why Arizona?
Seems too dry there.
Because have you ever been to Arizona? Like if it's a weapon, it's legal.
Okay. All right, I got you.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you started a fire in Arizona, depending where it is, I mean, like how much damage would it do?
Well, right, because a lot of it's
brush
desert.
in the desert, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen. You're right. Arizona, the place for flamethrowers. They should put that on their license plate. Hello, Corey. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
So my grandpa is a badass because he beat the crap out of 3 people for kicking his dog in a bar.
This is the opposite of shooting your dog in the head.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the situation?
Well, from what I was told by my dad is that usually he went to his regular bar and he'd bring in his little Shih Tzu and the dog would just sit right next to him. And this guy comes up and just kicks his dog. And he sees it and sees how the dog is whimpering, and he starts beating the crap out of this guy. And then 2 of his friends try to join in, and my grandpa beat the crap out of all 3 of them.
Don't kick your Shih Tzu. You leave my Shih Tzu alone.
That's right. And don't get it on your shoe. When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
Hey, man, looks like you stepped in Shih Tzu.
Who would kick somebody else's dog?
I know. In a bar.
See?
I forgot. I didn't hear that part.
It wasn't a bar. But still, it's one of those stories because, again, you're talking about grandparents. Either they are telling you the story or it's a hand-me-down story. So I feel like with this one, there's a lot of details that were left out that this dude probably doesn't know. Like, well, he threw a drink on a guy and the dog bit someone. Something led up to someone kicking the dog. Right. I don't think anyone just walked over and kicked someone's dog.
When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Randy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
What's going on, guys? So I found out my grandfather was a badass when we were sitting there and we were watching wrestling, if you will. Now, my brother and I were also a tag team. We're the Bremerton Hillbillies. I go by Cletus. He goes by Earl. Our first match was against Kevin Sullivan and Coach Mike Jones. And, of course, we lost. I mean, who's going to beat a legend? You can't. Kevin Sullivan. Well, here's the thing. Kevin Sullivan was responsible for bringing Goldberg into wrestling.
Okay.
So, also, my grandfather babysat Ric Flair in Minnesota.
All right. Okay. That's an odd thing to be able to say.
And if you guys can help me out, hey, we got a show coming up on the 29th, wrestling in Bremerton, La Pablanitas.
Are you still the champion?
No.
Oh.
No. But we're the Bremerton Hillbillies. We're Cletus and Earl.
All right.
We're bad hillbillies. We people don't like us.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'm black, so you didn't really have to add bad.
Right, exactly.
It's just kind of
it was bad.
Say hillbilly. I'm like, I don't know. Hey, man.
When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
I think after Deliverance, everybody's kind of scared of hillbillies.
You know what? You're probably that might be the movie. So look, Jaws ruined it for sharks, right? Jaws comes out, and you could just start slaughtering sharks at will at that point because everyone was convinced that all sharks are going to eat you, right? So Deliverance comes out, and it's not like they murdered you. What they did was so much worse.
It's
just
incest.
so much worse.
It's incest.
And now it's like, so you say hillbilly.
Roll into what?
That is like the Jaws of the hillbilly world's Deliverance. You're like, man, because everyone says the same thing. Okay, hey, don't get bent over in the woods. Yep. No one would say that under normal circumstances. That's not the first thing that goes. But Deliverance comes out, and you're like, this is a warning.
And people don't mind if you call them country. Right. So generally, you don't want to call somebody a hillbilly.
No, you get punched in a bar where I'm from.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, even people from the cut know it's not a good thing.
Right.
But it's stuck in my brain.
When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
I was scared of the country and white people for years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, and that's sort of like you grew up in the city, man, and you're one of the white dudes like, man, I hate going out to the country.
Yeah.
The people there freak me the F out.
It's all of them. Look at them.
Hey, I feel you, man. I feel you.
I was just in Pasco County, Florida. Oh, my God.
Is that,
it's like you walked onto the set of Cops. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm here, and they're filming. Right. Holy cow. This is crazy. When did you find out your grandparent was a badass? 844-999-OLA.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, thanks, everyone. I have two announcements. First, we didn't use Easy Cater for this meeting, which is why the food never arrived. Also, and I just thought of this, effective immediately, everyone will be paid in wildly volatile cryptocurrency. You're all now billionaires. And now you're broke.
Bad ideas happen when there's no food for the meeting. So make sure it's on time and as ordered from more than 80,000 restaurants. Now, Easy Cater.
You're rich again. And now you're not.
Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.